Okay, I am back, and it seems that the polka dots are the funnest part. I already did the belly plate, and I may have put too many, but I don't care. I really like it, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm just taking the limb, and everything is just so messy. I have paint everywhere, but I'm having a good time. And I just took the paint straight out of the bottle, made a puddle, and I'm just randomly kind of following the flow of these little stripes. It's almost like they're aquatic with the dots. It went from zebra to tiger to kind of aquatic. So I'm just dotting them with the end of a paintbrush. I found the paintbrush that had the tiniest end. I tried to do it with a toothpick and it just looked kind of terrible. This is making perfect little dots. And I'm gonna sit here and do this until it's done, and it's not even taking a lot of time. I'm trying not to make all the dots the same size. So if you touch lightly, you get a tiny dot. And if you touch a little bit with a little bit more pressure, you get a bigger dot. I'm not putting it on the stripe all the time or around the stripe. I'm just trying to keep the same flow. And it's so much fun. I haven't decided how I'm gonna fix the bottom of these feet yet. I will get to that. I'm thinking maybe I may paint them again with pink. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna make this baby again. I know it, because it was challenging, but it sure was a heck of a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And so I'll recap. Next time I am probably going to use the airbrush, at least to put the body paint on. And I am most likely gonna go lighter and probably add a little bit of turquoise to the paint. Not just have this straight blue color. It looked good. The more I look at it, the more I wish I would have done maybe just a little bit more turquoise in there and went a little lighter for my first coat. By the way, these dots are a good way to cover up any errors if you have them. I don't have many, but if you have them, it's a good way to just put a dot over something that is uneven or doesn't look right. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna get another layer of primer after I'm done. But how fun is this? I mean, I can't wait till it's all assembled. I'm so excited. The trick now is, what the heck do you dress an avatar in? I don't wanna have to make like an avatar costume. I do not want to pull out the sewing machine. Not feeling that today. Maybe I'll just put it in a diaper and a t-shirt and let whoever gets the baby decide what they're going to do. As for who's going to get the baby, I'm not sure I'm going to list it. If I make another one, I'll list it, just because I'll have gotten all the bugs out. But this one's kind of more experimental, so I'm not quite sure I'm going to list it. If I don't, and I will probably use it as a giveaway for the channel. The time I'm filming this, it is late May, so I still have time to make a decision because I'm not sure when I'm going to post. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll use it as a giveaway. I've decided that on this channel I would do giveaways because I love it when people do. I've never tried to get one just because I don't collect, and I'd rather a collector get a doll that they really want. But I enjoy that people do that. I think it's totally nice. So I'm going to dot that up a little bit. I think it's done. Isn't that cool? You know, every step you get to closer to getting done, it just seems a lot better. When you're far from being done, it just feels like everything's a fail. And it's not gonna work out. But now that I'm here, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working out. So I'm gonna do the face, and I think I'm gonna do tinier dots in the face, just because I don't think it needs giant. I don't want this to look polka dotty, and I have a feeling I might be doing these dots just a little bit too big. I'm just gonna go just a little bit tinier on the face, and maybe not as much. And then when I'm done with all the dots, I am going to do another layer of matte just to seal it up. I think I'm gonna do some baby fine painted hair and then just do very light rooting. So I will let you see what that looks like. I think I'm putting too many dots on the face because I'm dot happy right now, but because I'm getting closer, I'm getting excited. But yeah, I'll be back. I put a matte layer on the baby. This is just what I had in my studio. I have never used this matte varnish before. And I did the belly and I thought, well, it's a little bit shiny, but so I decided to do the final layer with this to protect it. And I am so disappointed. Look at how shiny this baby is. So I'm gonna have to take it outside and Mr. Super clear it real quick, and hopefully it'll dull down that shine. I don't want that shiny, and I'm not gonna paint hair until I get that figured out. But I thought while I was here, I went on YouTube and I looked up a bunch of silicone hacks, and I had this, and I think we bought it before to fix something in this in our sink or our bathroom, and I didn't know that I could actually use this for anything, but I looked it up online and it said that you could, because you know you can't paint silicone, so it said you could use cornstarch, and I'm using my non-GMO organic good stuff. Actually, it smells really good too. And I'm going to use some paint and caulking and see what happens. I don't know. I've never done this before. So I'm just going to scoop that out. I do not know how this is going to work. So I'm going to put a little bit of this blue and a lot of this blue. I probably should have mixed it first. I don't know what the ratio is supposed to be. I'm just sort of guessing. Actually, I might put some more. So I guess you're just supposed to mix the cornstarch into the silicone, and eventually this will start to thicken up, and according to everything I've read, the paint should start incorporating itself into the silicone. I have a feeling I may have used too much paint. I don't know. We'll find out. I guess if it doesn't cure, then I've done something terribly wrong. And if this is a terrible, terrible fail, I may not even post this, or maybe I will, because it'll be even more fun. But, and I guess you're just supposed to mix this up until you get all the paint and stuff incorporated, and then you can use your hands. Cornstarch is supposed to keep it from being too sticky. And I'm on a glass table. The deal is you mix this up really, really well until it's not sticky anymore, and it's still sticky. So I'm going to put more cornstarch. I could probably get a couple tails out of this. So what was I saying? Oh, glass table. So what I do is, if you have like a place that fixes windows or does industrial glass for like buildings and stuff, what happens is they'll go to a building and they'll take out like an old glass door, old windows, and they bring them back and they recycle them at some point. But if you go there and to ask them for, you know, a piece of recycled tempered glass, usually they'll just give it to you. And so I have two really nice pieces, super thick. I don't hammer on them or anything like that, but they're very, very thick, and I use them for a lot of things like painting and sculpting. It's a nice clean surface, especially if you do polymer clay. It's awesome. So I am still not getting this sticky out of this, but I think we're getting there. I'm starting to notice the texture changing just a little bit. I feel it getting a little bit firmer, but every time it absorbs the cornstarch, it starts to get sticky again. And I'm guessing it's not supposed to be. Again, I don't have the ratios. I am just going with it here. See, this looks really good right here, but as soon as it absorbs that cornstarch, it goes all yucky again. It's supposed to get nice and firm and less sticky, and you're supposed to be able to make a mold out of it, like a press mold. I am not making a press mold, I'm making a tail. But I thought, if you can make a press mold, why couldn't you make a tail? So that's what we're doing. It's like a little science experiment. And this is the point, I think, when in all the videos where people started using their hands. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the camera and go take off these gloves, wash my hands, come back. Okay, I'm back. I took my gloves off and it did make a difference. Something in the gloves was just sticking to the silicone. So I got it to a good place, and had I known how much volume I was going to get from that little bit of silicone, I would have used a heck of a lot less. So I'm on my third tail. and I'm not making them super big because he's a baby avatar, so I'm guessing he wouldn't have a super huge tail. So I'm making some smaller tails, and I'm just gonna make as many tails as I can because I have a feeling I'm gonna be making some more Avatar babies. I just have a feeling. This is really cool. The texture will be like cloud clay. I don't know if you've ever used that, or you know, like Play-Doh. It shouldn't be sticking to your hands too much. And I'm just adding a little bit more cornstarch so it doesn't stick to the table. And you have to be a little bit gentle with it. It seems to be holding its shape okay. I could probably, I think if I were smarter, I probably would let this sit for a little while longer and firm up just a tiny bit more. That way it's guaranteed to hold its shape, but I'm being impatient because I have to take kids to swim lessons today. So you can't really stripe the tail because you can't paint over it. I could try to embed, I guess, some of that dark paint in weird places, but I just don't want to risk it. I think the tail being made out of silicone and the same blue as the body is going to be great. And then I'll root a little, maybe I'll root a little hair at the bottom of the tail, and that'll look kind of good. I think, I don't know, I have no idea. And I'll do the last tail, and then I'll let them dry. They should set up in about 30 minutes. But I'm guessing that it's going to be like a good 72 hours before they're something that you can touch and handle. Hopefully they cure. If they don't cure, I'll be so bummed out, because really this seems like the most perfect solution for the Avatar tail. I'm not sure about the durability. I don't know if it will try to break, if it's bendy, if it's fragile. I have no clue. If it is pretty fragile, I guess you could put a wire in it to help stabilize it. It's starting to set up already. That's awesome. That's a good sign. That must mean that these are going to cure.